Okay, so today is the 4th, but we're going to get ourselves caught up this week. So we're going to start off by doing 11/27's opener. Just set them on top of the cart. All right, so let's take a look at the first equation here. This is solving an equation with a, what? Square root. So when we're solving an equation with a square root, we're still going to circle our variable, draw a line of equality, then we're going to put a box around the square root. What's the purpose of putting a box around my square root? Why do I put a box around that square root? Yeah, to get the square root by itself. So if I want to get the square root by itself, what do I have to get rid of first here? The 7. So to get rid of that 7, I'm going to subtract 7. Both sides. 7's cancel. So on my left side, I can now just bring down my square root, negative 2a plus 3. And on the right side of the line of equality, or on the right side of my equation, what's 10 minus 7? Now that I have the square root by itself, I'm now ready to get rid of the square root sign. How do I get rid of the square root sign?
Put a box around it and put a square.
You're right, you're going to put a square, but you don't need the box around it again. You can put it there, but it's not wrong. So I'm going to square. If I square one side, I have to square the other. So square and square root are inverse operations. They cancel each other out. So again, on my left side, now that I canceled my square root sign out, I can just bring down negative 2a plus 3. Then on my right side, what's 3 squared? 9. And now I have a two-step equation. In order to get a two-step equation, to get the variable by itself, remember I'm going to do PEMDAS backwards, which is SADMAP. So what number do I get rid of first? Now this is a tricky one. A lot of people, I bet, want to get rid of a certain number that they're not supposed to.
Get rid of the 3.
Get rid of the 3. A lot of people might look at this as a minus 2 and want to get rid of that first. But what does that negative 2a mean to do? So the opposite would be divide. So good. So we will get rid of that negative, or that plus 3 by a minus 3 first. Okay. Some people see that minus and automatically want to get rid of that, forgetting that a number next to a variable means to multiply. What's 9 minus 3?
6.
Okay. And my last step here is to get the variable by itself. How do I do that? Divide by negative 2. Don't forget that negative. So then a is going to equal negative 3. How many of you guys had that? Good. I will get your quizzes graded today, and then I'm hoping, you didn't look thrilled about that, and I'm hoping to get the all your math stuff updated by the end of 5th hour today. That's my goal, okay? Just third triad materials. All right, let's take a look at the second equation.
Dang, you talking about this thing?
Just what we've done during third triad. Okay, so now, this is a little bit of what we're going to be doing today. So, if you look at this equation, it has 2 variables in it. They're the same variable, but we're going to solve this equation with 2 variables. So, if you notice, according to our board today's notes, we're going to learn how to solve equation with multiple variables, part 1. This is just a small part of what we're going to learn today. Okay? So, we're still going to circle our variables, both variables, and we're still going to draw our line of equality. Now, when you have an equation like this, you have to simplify each side of the equation first. So how would I simplify this side of the equation, the left side of the line of equality? Yeah, why can you do that 3 plus 2? Yeah, so all you're doing here is combining like terms. So 3c plus 2c equals 5. And then I just bring down my equals 15. Now, this is a one-step equation. Divide by 5. So then c is going to equal 15 divided by 5?
3.
3. Good. Yep, that's it. Yep, you combine your like terms and then solve to get the variable by itself. All right, let's look at the last equation. Now, this last equation, you can solve in 2 different ways. You can solve using distributive property, or you can solve by using order of operations backwards. Who solved using order of operations backwards? Who did not distribute in order to solve? The rainbows.
I did rainbow.
You did not do that? So Jemiah, she's going to work, we're going to solve this twice. You only have to have it written down in your opener once. But I want to just show you how you can get the same answer using two different methods. So Jemiah, tell me what you did.
I divided by 2.
So you used order of operations backwards and divided by 2. And then what did you bring down on your left side?
The h minus 5 equals 3.
What type of 3?
Negative 3.
Okay. Then what did you do?
Don't I put the square root thingy?
No. Don't ever put a square root if it's not needed. Right? Is there a square root? Is there a square sign here? No, so we don't have to get rid of a square, do we? So when I bring that down, I just drop down my h minus 5. So how do I get the 5 by itself? Or the h by itself, excuse me.
Plus 5.
Okay. 5's cancel. So then h equals, you have to fix that number. So what's negative 3 plus 5? 2. Good. Okay. That's one way to solve it. Okay, here's another way to solve it. I'm going to do it off to the left here. So I have 2 times h minus 5 equals negative 6. So today's lesson, we're going to solve or simplify by using distributive property. Mr. Carlos and Mr. Nimmons called it the rainbow method last year, but it's distributive property. So what that means, you're going to take the number on the outside of parentheses and multiply it by both numbers on the inside of the parentheses. So you'll take the 2 times h to get what? 2h. Then you'll take the 2 times what type of 5 is that? So you'll get a negative 10 equals negative 6. Okay? Now we have a two-step equation. What do I get rid of first? Okay, so I'm going to add 10. So then I'm going to bring down the 2h equals 4. H equals 2. We got the same answer, right? Either way is acceptable, but you're going to want to use distributive property in today's lessons when you're working with more numbers. Okay? It'll just make it easier and simpler. Any questions? All right, go ahead and make sure your names are on the opener and pass those towards Mr. McFarland.